You're standing there again, heart racing. Words tumbling from your mouth like water through broken fingers. Explaining, justifying, pleading for understanding from people who have already made up their minds about who you are. And with each word you speak, you feel yourself getting smaller. The conversation replays in your mind how you defended your choices, your dreams, your very existence to someone who never asked for an explanation. Yet there you were, bleeding your reasons onto the floor, hoping they would finally see what you see, feel what you feel, understand what drives you forward in this beautiful, brutal world. But here's what no one tells you about the ancient art of silence. Every word you use to explain yourself is a piece of your power given away freely to those who never earned it. The Stoics knew this. They understood that true strength doesn't announce itself, doesn't justify itself, doesn't beg for validation from minds that cannot comprehend the depth of your journey. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private thoughts, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. He wasn't talking about ignorance. He was talking about sovereignty. Think about it. When did explaining yourself ever change someone's mind? When did your desperate attempts to make them understand ever result in the understanding you so desperately craved? The truth cuts deep. People see what they want to see. They hear what they're ready to hear. And no amount of explanation can bridge the gap between their limited perception and your unlimited reality. You waste your breath trying to translate your soul into their language, forgetting that some things are too sacred, too personal, too profound to be reduced to words that satisfy their curiosity. Your dreams don't need their approval. Your choices don't require their understanding. Your path doesn't demand their blessing. But somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that your worth was measured by their comprehension of it. You started believing that silence was weakness, that not explaining was rude, that withholding your reasons was somehow unkind. This is where the world got it wrong. Silence isn't weakness. It's the most powerful force in the universe. It's the space between words where truth lives. It's the pause before response where wisdom is born. It's the refusal to cheapen what is precious with explanations for those who wouldn't understand. Anyway, Epictetus, who knew suffering in ways most never will, taught his students, no one can harm you without your permission. Every time you explain yourself to those who didn't ask, you're giving them permission to judge what they cannot comprehend. You're handing over the keys to your peace of mind, your self-worth, your very identity. Listen closely. Your silence is not emptiness. It's fullness. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their actions speak louder than any explanation ever could. When you stop explaining, you start living. When you stop justifying, you start becoming. When you stop seeking approval, you start finding yourself. The people who matter will see your worth without explanation. They'll understand your choices without justification. They'll respect your path without needing a roadmap of how you got there. And the people who don't, well, no amount of explaining was ever going to change that. Some minds are too small to hold your vastness. Some hearts are too closed to feel your truth. Some souls are too disconnected to recognize your light. This isn't judgment. This is reality. And reality doesn't require your explanation. The Stoics understood that freedom comes not from being understood, but from not needing to be understood. Not by everyone, not by anyone who hasn't earned that privilege through their presence, their support, their genuine care for who you are rather than who they think you should be. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Today marks the end of your need to explain. Today marks the beginning of your sovereignty. From this moment forward, you walk differently, you speak differently, you exist differently. When they ask why, you smile. When they demand justification, you remain still. When they push for explanation, you offer them the gift of your silence, not because you're hiding, not because you're ashamed, not because you can't explain, but because you choose not to. Because you understand now that your energy is precious, your words have weight, and your reasons belong to you and you alone. Watch what happens when you stop explaining yourself. Watch how their urgency meets your calm. Watch how their demands meet your quiet strength. Watch how their confusion meets your unshakable peace. You become untouchable, not cold, not distant, not uncaring, but sovereign, like a mountain that doesn't explain why it reaches toward the sky, like an ocean that doesn't justify its endless depths, like a storm that doesn't apologize for its power. You simply are. And in that being, in that quiet confidence, in that refusal to diminish yourself for the comfort of others, you find something the ancient philosophers spent their lives pursuing: true freedom. The freedom to live without explanation. The freedom to choose without justification. The freedom to be yourself without apology. This is your birthright. This is your power. This is your path forward. Stop explaining yourself. Start being yourself. The world will adjust. It always does. And you will finally breathe the air of the sovereign soul, clear and unlimited, just as nature intended. Just as you were meant to be.